Malaysia's security focus has progressed beyond the issues of defending sovereignty and national boundaries. Yet, there are emerging security risks that could threaten the survival of the country. This documentary will highlight on the security issues that took place in Malaysia, which endanger the populations as well as the sovereignty of the country. Terrorism, in simple terms, can be defined as series of violence to achieve particular political objectives, commonly targeting the peace of the public and seeks to create fear and insecurities. In general, the goal of terrorism is to destroy the public sense of security in places that are familiar to them. The sense of terror these acts engender will induce the populations to pressure political leaders towards specific political ends that favor the terrorists. The two intrusions that took place in February 2013 is a perfect example of terrorism incident that occurred in Malaysia, in which involved an armed group from southern Philippines. The group claimed ownership of Sabah and wants the state to be retained as a territory of Sulu Sultanate. The Malaysian government tried to settle the issues of intrusions through negotiations.
Sebagai Ketua Kerajaan, saya mengambil keputusan bahawa masa untuk kita memberi apa-apa pertimbangan sudah berakhir.
Pagi tadi melancarkan serangan ke atas penceroboh di kampung Tandua Lahad Datu. Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak dalam kenyataannya berkata, tindakan itu bagi mempertahankan maruah serta kedaulatan negara.
Malaysian security forces surrounded Kampung Tunduk in Lahad Datu, where the group had gathered, and after several weeks of negotiations and deadline for the intruders to withdraw on February 26, 2013. The incident has left a dark history for Malaysia when many national heroes were sacrificed in an attempt to defend the sovereignty of the country from being invaded by the Sulu terrorists. It is one of the challenges that government need to face, as it is hard for them to maintain or even ensure the safe and secure environment for the tourists.
This is a challenge that faces us all around the world. We are far from immune to this danger, wherever we are, and that includes us in Malaysia.
This is because the negative part, like crime occurrence or even the incidents of terrorism, are something that is unpredictable, and it cannot be controlled by the government itself. The terrorists or those who are involved in the criminal part will always have their own strategy and specific steps to do crime as well as terrorism. United States is one of the states that take early precautions by listing Malaysia as one of the countries where terrorism may happen, and issues a safety directive to its citizens to be extra careful in Malaysia. After the terrorism crisis occurred in Lahad Datu in May 2013, the government established Eastern Sabah Safety Zone and Eastern Sabah Security Command. The zone will cover 10 districts covering 1,400 kilometers to strengthen the maritime security. Also, to enhance the security and safety of the Eastern Sabah people, the role of the community policing played by villagers in East Zone to help enforce the security and tackle the issues of cross-border crime. Online news show the evidence of the society responsibilities to protect the sovereignty of their territory from illegal trespasser. As a result, in year 2021, the resident had arrested 32 people consist of illegal immigrants and drug traffickers. The residents used their own vehicles and resources to ensure the safety of their villages, also cover the area that ISKCOM might be leaking. As in 8 December 2021, ISKCOM able to prevent 43 kidnapping attempts from Abu Sayyaf terrorist group. These are the real footage of the area of the East Zone. Islam Malaysia Abdul is an NGO that already has a task force specialized in countering violent extremism. This shows that the society also take part in the government plan to combat extremism in Malaysia. In order to combat the incidence of terrorism in Malaysia, Malaysia has to work closely with other countries and international organizations in improving border security to prevent movement of terrorists.
I believe that the bilateral relations between Malaysia and New Zealand will remain strong with more opportunities to strengthen and widen the cooperation between our countries.
For example, the relationship that has been joined by Malaysia and few other countries in ASEAN, which aims to accelerate economic growth, social progress and cultural development in the regions, as well as to promote regional peace and stability.
In the spirit of togetherness, cooperation, we should share whatever we have. So I strongly call upon Australia, if they have something, share with us.
This is because important decisions are usually reached through consultations and consensus guided by the principles of non-interference in internal affairs and peaceful resolutions of conflicts. Due to that, the establishments of ASEAN could be seen as one of the good recommendations to combat and minimize terrorism cases in Malaysia, as it fosters mutual respect of each state's sovereign region. Planning, also known as regional planning, town city planning or rural planning, is a process that is focused on the development and design of land used and the built environment. Town planning asks questions about how people will live, work and play in a given area, and thus guides orderly development in urban, suburban and rural areas. Therefore, the deforestation and sewer system management become one of the most important elements within town planning. Deforestation refers to the decrease in forest areas across the world that are lost for other uses, such as agricultural croplands, urbanizations, or mining activities.
Pokok terus ditebang, bukit ditarah dan habitat haiwan liar mula terganggu. Kesannya manusia mula ditimpa bencana alam termasuk banjir besar, tanah runtuh dan pemanasan global.
Care for environment, it still lasts on the list in terms of preservation.
Sometimes, deforestation become the main activity to grow a domestic economy by developing urbanizations or planting. But if the activity is implemented without a proper guideline, it can cause landslide to occur, especially in Cameron Island. Nevertheless, a bad sewerage system also can harm the security issues. In Malaysia, many towns and cities use separate sewer systems. This type of sewer system had a few disadvantages, such as high cost of maintenance process, and the sewers came into operations due to the specific reasons. Only like the storm sewer may be choked in the dry seasons by garbage. Not to mention whereby it has affected the tourism industry, especially in terms of decline of tourist influx, loss of hotel revenue and occupancy, drop in retails of city economy, and destruction of nature, cultural and heritage attractions. Awareness has become one of the challenges faced by Malaysians in overcoming the issues. Most of the people blaming the government due to the problems that have happened, but the citizens itself does not play their roles in keeping the environment in a good shape. There are articles stating that the flood happened because of a bad drainage system and a clogged drain with debris and litter. This attitude led the sewerage system unable to flow the water properly. That became the factor of the flash flood. Supervisions, a lackadaisical attitude, and inadequate budget are the major factors for poor maintenance of drains. Besides, there are also some of the public who try to gain huge profit by making illegal deforestation. The state should maintain the proportions between forest and the building to ensure a balanced ecosystem. Yet, the government has played their roles in overcoming the issues.
Mana yang kita tahu, termasuklah di highway kita ni pun, yang kita tahu ada risiko. Kita tak tahu bila hujan turun, air yang masuk dalam tanah itu, jika tanah tidak kuat untuk memegang air, maka keberangkalian untuk tanah itu slide tinggi. Pihak JKR dapat sentiasa memantau. Malahan di jalan ke Kamaruddin Highland itu, JKR memang ada satu alat yang boleh mengesan pergerakan tanah. Jadi kita harap mereka akan sentiasa alert lah dengan kemungkinan ada berlakunya pergerakan tanah, di bawah kajian unit cerun JKR.
Therefore, we recommend to further encouraging natural regenerations and providing protections that allows forest recovery by creating policies and practices that can continually be improved by monitoring and learning are far superior to rigid management, as well as put in place management structures which include local participation from the outside of the planting program is the best practice to be emulated. Hence, in fact, we also know if the flood often occurs in Malaysia when the end of the year arrives. Therefore, preparations of the issues of flood must be made in advance. In fact, we should not wait for a disaster to happen. There must be a comprehensive plan to tackle the problem. The above-mentioned strategies are implemented successfully, Malaysia will be kept on its chosen path. Malaysia will elevate it to its rightful place among the developed nations, helping the country to evolve into a world-class city and paving the path for other compact and sustainable Malaysian cities.